Peace. Jumbo. Welcome to the VITAL HOOPS Podcast, right here on Black Power Media Reloaded. My name is Fernando, aka International XB. This is episode number 97. Before I keep going, I'm happy to announce that you can now cop some VITAL HOOPS merch. Go to blackpowermedia.org/shop right now. The link is down in the description. And you can get you a new shirt or hoodie. The revolutionary Pan-African and vegan design is out. VITAL HOOPS, Black Power Media. Get your merch, support the show, and represent. I appreciate you for that one. All right. A couple weeks ago, I went to the Dead Press concert in Paris. They're celebrating 25 years of Let's Get Free. You know what I'm saying? One of the most important hip-hop albums in my life, for sure. You know, Dead Press being definitely one of my favorite groups ever. You know, shout out to Stick and M1 and Umi as well. Great show, you know what I'm saying? It was super dope. The show was on point. And I do feel like there wasn't enough people out there, it being in Paris. You know, I was expecting to see more people, you know what I'm saying? People from the hip hop culture, people from the Pan-African movement, you know what I'm saying? I was expecting to see more people out there, but like I said, the show was amazing. I did get my vinyl signed by M1 and Stick, and you know what I'm saying? Stick's book, you know, 5 Principles, he definitely signed it. Shout out to both of them. And shout out to my brother Timur, aka Team Ray Brown, and my comrade Elom Vance. Great time, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like I said, you know, it's an extremely important album. From I'm an African to Be Healthy, you know what I'm saying? Be Healthy, definitely one of the songs that inspired me to you know, to go vegan and to get into health and wellness and all of that. So, like I said, much respect. Shout out to Dead Prez, man. All right, we're actually going to talk health and wellness today. We're going to get deep into some things, and we'll also talk hoops a little bit. You know what I mean? Today's guest is a brother of mine. He's been here before, but it's been a minute. He's my ex-college basketball teammate, and he's a great personal trainer and coach. Here for the 5th time, Pierre Jacobs. P, what's good, my brother? Welcome back to the VITAL HOOPS Podcast. How you doing?
Man, I'm great, XV. I'm great. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I'm happy to have you back on, you know,
Man,
for the 5th time, brother.
yeah, man. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
No doubt, man. It's always an honor, a pleasure, man. You know, last time we had you on was episode 40. So I encourage everybody to go back and check it out, you know, episode 40. And of course, you was on the first episode of the VITAL HOOPS Podcast, Health is Wealth. So I appreciate you, my guy.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate you, man, and I admire all the work you're doing with the podcast. I think it's incredible.
Give thanks, man. Give thanks. Yo, so we back at it, man. You already know we're gonna rap about, you know, what we do, health and wellness, training, recovering, all that good stuff, man. So what I want to do today is let's get into optimal training, nutrition, rest, and recovery. Let's kind of break it down like that, but let's break it down for everyday people, you know, in a short way. We don't have to go too deep into it, you know, but for
Okay.
everyday people, and then we're gonna get into hoopers or athletes in general, you know,
Okay.
whatever it is. So when it comes to training, first of all, you know, when you have with your, you know, regular client, someone that's not necessarily an athlete, how do you personally like to break it down? Do you do like the regular, make sure they get their aerobics, strength, flexibility? Do you also do stability, or how do you break that down?
Yeah, so I usually try to stay pretty balanced with them
Mhm.
and with general population, the everyday person. It's kind of a little bit dependent on the person. Like sometimes during your evaluation,
Mhm.
that's the most key. That's the most key time because sometimes during that evaluation, it's like you might see someone as a little more imbalanced,
Okay.
or maybe they're a little weaker in certain areas, or it could be, a bunch of different things. So once you do that evaluation, once I do that, then I really see like, okay, this is how I should program design for them because a lot of people are former athletes, so maybe they have something that we don't need to work on as much because they kind of do it naturally. You know, you
Uh-huh.
get some people who, let's say, for instance, you got a person who plays basketball twice a week at the YMCA. You know, they
Yeah.
used to play when they were younger, but now they're older, they still play. So aerobically, I don't need to focus on that as much with them.
Yeah, that
Now we're
makes
just
sense.
focusing. Now we're just focusing on their flexibility and strength and things that. So yeah, it depends on that, but I always try to make sure the overall picture is pretty balanced.
Right, right. So yeah, so if you get someone that doesn't work out at all and hasn't worked out in years, then you will try
Mhm.
to hit a little bit of everything, right?
Exactly, correct.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, yeah.
yeah,
What about when you're working with athletes? I'm guessing it also depends on, what they need to get better at, etc., right?
yeah, yeah. Well, athletes is a little bit. It's similar. We want to be balanced, but it depends on the season, like where they are in the season or off season, and then also what their strengths and weaknesses are. So, yeah, it's a little bit different. It's just kind of scaling that same concept just to maybe a little bit more intense level.
Yeah, yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. All right. What about rest? I want to talk about rest because I understand now how important rest is, man. We didn't always know that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Playing college ball, man, you and I, we kind of, didn't get the proper amount of rest that we needed. And when I say
of
rest,
course.
it's, recovery, general sleep, doing the little things that you need to do, like ice bath and just, massaging, stretching. Well, not stretching doesn't necessarily go into that, but just a proper rest, making sure you get your sleep, all of that.
Yeah,
I know now it's a huge part of just even if you're not an athlete, man, just wellness, man. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Talk to me
I,
about
I
that.
will, I will say one thing. With the stretching is that what I've noticed is that there is a certain amount of restorative type stretching, like yin yoga, or just long holds for maybe 15 to 30 minutes that actually does seem to help with recovery
Hmm.
with my clients and myself. When you start getting into like an hour of stretching, then it becomes more of a workout. It's still going to be beneficial long term, but you might not get that immediate recovery for your next workout if that's the goal. So that's the one thing I've noticed.
Right.
But yeah, with recovery, you know, it's one of those areas where, especially from an athletic background, we overlooked a lot. Like you said, you know,
Yeah.
we overlooked a lot. And as we, mature, we understand like, okay, the importance of it. And the one thing I've noticed, the biggest lever I've been able to pull for myself is like going to bed around the same time and waking up around the same time. And I can usually do that plus or minus an hour, and my body recovers pretty nicely with that. So that's probably the biggest thing, new thing that I've really recognized in the last, I would say 6, 7 months. I've really been playing around with that.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. Sleep is really key. And, unfortunately today, man, I know this, man, because, I work with kids sometimes and young players. And I know that, yo, if it's not the phone, it's the PS, what, 5? Where they at now? PS5?
Yeah,
Yo, and
yeah,
then
who
they
knows?
be playing, they up all night playing that shit, man.
Yeah,
Instead of getting their sleep in, and
yeah.
for recovery. So that's very important, man, for young athletes when we talk about doing things, to have an edge on that court, man.
Mhm.
If you get your proper sleep, that's a way to be better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I think like people in general would definitely like younger people, if they look at the body, it's similar to their phone. It's like at a certain point you got to put it on the charger. And humans, we have it built inside of us that when we take our naps or if we go to sleep at night, that's basically putting us on the charger. And
mhm.
so a lot of things happen. Your phone gets rebooted, your body gets rebooted, and uh, a lot of repair happens during that time. So it's not really losing anything. It's actually, like you said, it's giving you that superpower because you're
Yeah,
recharging the body. When you don't do that, at some point it's just gonna die out. It doesn't matter who you are or what you like. We're wired to get that rest, so
absolutely.
it's important.
For sure, man. Let me ask you this, man, for athletes, as far as stretching, because there's different schools when it comes to stretching. What do you believe
Mhm.
in, man? Do you think it's different for different athletes? Or do you believe in static stretching or just dynamic or both? Or how do you look at it?
Yeah. So what I've seen that works is that before working out is dynamic stretching because we want to prime the body for impact, for performance. So we don't really want to go into a static state because
Mm,
that's slowing the body down. We want to actually go into that dynamic state. So
yeah,
we do the dynamic stretching. But then post workout, so once we get done working out, that's when we'd want to go into more static because now we want the body to cool down. We essentially want the repair process to start happening when we're done working out. So that's where we go into more of a static state, calm
deeper stretches. Yeah.
uh, the body down, the heart rate comes down, all these different changes that are happening biologically. So
Mhm.
that's what I've seen to work the most. And then in dynamic stretching, you can maybe add in foam rolling at the beginning and stuff like that. That can be a part of the dynamic process as well.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. Okay, so let's talk nutrition, man. Let's talk nutrition. Nutrition is always a big one, especially, for us being plant-based and all of that. But
Mhm.
just in general, man, today there's all types of different messages, man. There's people coming out saying that you gotta eat all meat and butter and cheese and eggs.
Yeah.
So let's talk about nutrition. Talk to me about the importance, man, of nutrition and where are you at with it with everyday people? Like, what's your recommendation?
Yeah. It's a big topic. I guess specifically where I am with clients who are not athletes who are focusing on weight loss and weight management is we're looking at their caloric expenditure and how many calories they're taking in because what we've noticed is all of us we don't really realize that we're probably taking in more calories than we're expending every single day. So for instance, I might have a client who's eating good but they're eating 500 to 1,000 extra calories a day. It might be still good food,
Mm,
but they're wondering why they're not losing weight. So in that case, we're looking at the caloric expenditure, and that's pretty much what we're focusing on. And then with athletes, it's a little different. I kind of a little bit. I feel like they can eat pretty much as they are. If they're hungry, eat basically.
mm-hmm.
Because it's a different fueling process. But then it just comes down to making sure that protein is the number one, then carbohydrates, and then your fats with the athletes. And that seems to work the best for athletes because you don't want to really restrict them. And also, I found that putting them on a huge surplus is not good either because it's interesting when we play sports, our body kind of tells us a lot, like we regulate a lot. So if they read that regulation and they feed themselves according to that, then I think that they're in a good spot.
Right, right, right. So basically, if someone is looking to lose weight or to kind of stay the way they are, that the calories that they consume should be just about as the same as the ones that they burn, right? And if they want to lose weight, they should be burning more calories than the intake, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and that depends per person. Some people it's about 200 to 500 calories per person in the deficit if they want to lose at a fast rate. But even I've seen like 100 calories less a day, which really doesn't make people feel more hungry or anything. That'll help them to lose weight. So it depends on the person, but yeah, you're
Right.
absolutely right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, do you believe it is healthy to track your calories all the time, or do you think that once a person, you know, is feeling well, they should just kind of know how to eat without necessarily tracking, or do you track your calories still all the time? And
Okay. So the biggest thing is like it's a personality thing.
mm,
In all honesty, it's kind of like weighing ourselves every day. Some people do better with doing it every single day,
mm,
staying accountable, looking in that mirror every single day and seeing what's there. Some people, it becomes a bigger stressor
right.
to do it every single day. So for those people, I like to just have checkpoints. Like, okay, we're gonna weigh
Sure.
in every Monday morning
Mm,
at the same time when you wake up, weigh in. Uh, because then when we're adding the stress, we're kind of defeating the whole purpose of what we're trying to do with the body if we're adding this stress from uh, counting calories every day. But for other people, it's really good as an accountability tool. Like myself, I do track my calories every single day
okay.
because and it's pretty on point. Like I'll even test it. I'll be like, okay, I know today I'm 200 calories over what I'm expending for the day because I know my average,
Yeah,
and I'll wake up the next day and I'm probably about a half a pound heavier or whatever. Now, not that's not all fat, but for a person who's trying to be a weight loss person, they could psychologically that could beat them up,
mhm,
but it could work in their advantage the other way. If they're like, hey, I've been, for the last week, I've been eating 100 to 200 calories less than I expend, and I see that I'm down half a pound or a pound, it can give them that boost.
for sure, man. Yeah, yeah. One of the things that I've learned, over the time is the importance of fiber, man, in the diet. So
Uh-huh.
like I think that a lot of people are very worried about protein, which is important, but I think that
Hmm.
a lot of people are not eating enough fiber. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And I think, fiber as far as your gut health and all of that is extremely important. What's your take on that, man?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think that when it comes to nutrition, it's like we sometimes we want to pit things against each other, and
Mhm.
this is what we see with a lot of influencers, or they're like, hey, you got to eat
I
more
agree with you.
fiber. Don't focus on protein.
Hmm.
Don't focus on carbs. Eat more fiber. But it's like it should be more of like a whole picture type thing.
Hmm.
Like, hey, get a high amount of protein that's high quality and get your fiber in. Don't try to pit them against each other because they don't go against each other. Like
For
they're
sure.
they're working the same machine. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
So that's what I think. I do agree with you. I think most of us aren't getting enough fiber. Also, fermented foods,
yeah,
which is one
absolutely.
thing I've added a lot of fermented foods into my diet. Every single meal I have a tablespoon or two of sauerkraut or kimchi every single meal.
Yeah, I do kimchi
Um,
as well. I do kimchi. Yeah, it's pretty good.
yeah, it's good, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You get to like it. At first, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's super sour, and then
Uh-huh.
and then you
Yeah.
start liking it. Like, okay, it's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that between that and then increasing fiber, yeah, I think that definitely helps a lot. In addition to the protein and the carbohydrate balance and the fat balance.
Absolutely. What are your go-to sources, being plant-based, as far as plant-based sources when it comes to protein?
Yeah. I think like beans are really probably the top. Like a beans and quinoa mix has worked really, really well. As far as like foods, so let's talk about foods.
Yeah, yeah, let's talk about
Uh, Also, I found this nice fava
fava beans.
tofu.
Yeah, okay, fava
Yeah,
tofu. Yeah,
that's a good one. That's a
yeah,
real
that's
good
high,
one.
very high in protein out here. Yeah,
Super high protein, meaty. It cooks well. It tastes good. It's good. Uh, yeah, those are probably my go-tos right there. And
which kind of beans?
okay, yeah. So I do a mix. So I'll buy like maybe 3 times a year. I'll buy like a bunch of big bags of beans. So I like to blend it. So I'll go like black beans one day. We try to every week do a different bean. Black beans, uh, lentils. Right now we're doing white beans.
Nice.
I think they're called white northern beans.
I like those
Uh,
too, man.
chickpeas. Chickpeas
Chickpeas are
is
key,
clutch.
and also
Yeah.
chickpeas have a lot of calcium too, man. They're very good. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
That
yeah,
makes sense. That makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, so definitely I like to mix the beans. I don't think that it's good to I think you taught me this one time. You were telling me about food diversity, like having
Mhm.
more diversity into the
That's the key.
diet.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And ever since you said that, I always started to incorporate that like, all right, let me see how many foods I can eat over the course of this week as opposed to being like fava is my only go-to. I eat fava every meal. It's like, no,
Right,
let me try to diversify that portfolio of foods that I'm eating every week.
for sure, man. What do you say to those that say that, beans is not a good source of protein because it has too much, it's a carbohydrate source. You know what I'm saying? They're like,
Mhm.
oh, beans too much carbs.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, man?
Yeah, I think that's maybe not a understanding of protein and how it breaks down in the body. Like not
Mhm.
every protein is the same. Like protein is like saying shoe. Like not every shoe is the same. Like you got different types of shoes, different brands of shoes, etc. So I think when people understand how to complete the profile of the amino acids that are in the protein, they will understand that if you put beans with something like quinoa, you have a really high chance of having a complete protein. And that complete protein is going to do the body better than just stacking on one big protein
Yeah,
amount. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
absolutely.
So yeah, that's I would say to that. It's
For
maybe
sure.
just not a. It's just kind of looking at they're looking through a very small window as opposed to the larger picture.
For sure, man. And when it comes to athletes, man, you speak about a good quality, a good source of protein, which is key.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of research is showing now that, as far as building muscle and everything, plant sources are just as good as, animal sources, but they're seeing a lot of positives in the plant sources as far as longevity. That's what they're
Okay.
starting to see, you know what I'm saying? Have you seen any of that, and what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, plant sources as a longevity tool, I think is that's been around for a while, especially I think we discussed it before, like the blue zones came out and kind of all those blue zones really go plant uh heavy.
Heavy, yeah.
Yeah, heavy. Yeah, I think as long as you're getting the essential amino acids,
Hmm.
which pairing different plant-based foods together,
Hmm.
I think that is great. It's great. The body can handle it. Digesting it is usually better.
Yeah.
It comes packaged well, so it comes packaged with fiber. It comes packaged with a lot of vitamins. It comes packaged with a lot of
Antioxidants, yeah,
exactly right, exactly. So I think that's when we start looking at the whole packaging of it, it's like, oh yeah, it's a no-brainer. Like that makes sense while it's for longevity.
for
If I'm
sure.
getting all these extra things at the same time as I'm getting my protein and my carbs and my fats, if I'm getting all these extra things in the package, of course it's going to do my body well over the course of time. So
For sure.
with athletes, I would say, and with everyday people too, is finding a good high quality plant protein shake is good as well. And
Absolutely.
myself, I do a blend. Right now, I'm doing hemp, sprouted brown rice,
Wow.
and chia.
Okay.
So that's my
So it
mix
has
that I
all three
do.
proteins in the powder?
I bought each powder
Oh, you do it
individually, and I
yourself.
and
Dope.
exactly right.
Dope.
And so I do that. And so when you look at the essential amino acid profile, I complete all of them, and
Right.
they package very well with all those vitamins and nutrients. And
Correct.
so yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah. See, yeah, that's the key, man. A variety of foods is always best. And when
Mhm.
it comes to completing amino acids, it is true that, all plant protein has all amino acids. The only thing is that it's in different amounts, right? So if you want to make sure you get enough of each one and
Mhm.
correctly, then it's good and it's better to mix up different proteins, and it's going to be good also for other things, gut health, like I said, and getting
Mhm.
enough fiber, et cetera, et cetera. So it's definitely, yeah, that's great. That's great advice. But yeah, I know that the hemp protein is also one of the it's super healthy,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Definitely. Um, Obviously, I think you and I are both proponents of a whole foods, whole foods
Mhm.
plant-based diet, or plant
Yeah.
heavy at least. But what about supplements? Because there's a lot of hustling, when it comes to supplements. People don't know what to take. They have different schools out there and all that. So what would you suggest? I know obviously it's best for everyday people and athletes as well to get tested, see if they're missing anything as far as vitamins and all that, for sure. But generally speaking, do you have anything to suggest people and then, athletes?
Yeah. I would say there's certain things that are probably not going to be bad for people, like vitamin D, a methylated multivitamin, an omega, a high quality omega supplement.
Can
Those
you
things are
break
probably
can you
not.
break that down? What's methylated? You said a methylated?
Yeah, so that just means that the body system can absorb that type of vitamin better. So
Hmm,
the ingredients that are in it are just already broken down in a way where when
okay.
it goes into the body is ready to absorb it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate that.
But I would say I'm a big supporter of getting blood work done and seeing what nutrients people are deficient in because that really zones it down a lot. It takes a lot of guesswork out. So yeah, so I use a company called
Okay.
Function Health, and they give me two tests of blood work per year. So the first test is 100 biomarkers, and the second test is halfway through the year is 60 biomarkers.
Wow.
And I think it costs now they got their price down to like 365 for a year. So you basically get those two tests for 365 a year. So it's like $1 a day essentially.
Yeah.
Um, but
So
yeah,
that's a real like serious breakdown of everything basically.
everything,
Yeah.
everything. And then what you could do from there is people who want to work with their doctors, they can then take that because I've taken it to doctors as well. Like, hey, this is what the blood work is saying, and they're going to be able to understand that and say, like, okay, this is what we need to do.
Right.
Or, nowadays people can potentially use AI and start to feed, like, hey, this is where I says I'm deficient in. What should I do?
What should I do?
And
Yeah.
then you can start to like approach the solution, the problem with a solution that is more fitted for the person as opposed to general wellness.
For sure. For sure. What about athletes, man? What are your suggestions for athletes as far as supplements in general?
Yeah, I would still say the same. I wish
Yeah.
we were doing blood work when we were athletes. That would have just be like that. That's that cheat code if there is one.
Mm.
That's a cheat code. But
True.
I would say for sure, multivitamin
Yeah,
and
you can't. I don't
omega.
think you can't go wrong with a multivitamin because it's important. It might help you. You might have a little deficit in one thing, and it can help you. So yeah,
Yeah. Well, yeah, it depends because there are like outliers where some people are maybe too high naturally
in
of something.
something. Yeah, true, true,
So
true.
so even just adding a little bit of that from their
Might be better.
multivitamin
Yeah,
can tip them over the edge. That's why I think the blood work helps. But
that's true.
generally, yes, the multivitamin, high quality methylated is it's not
Mm.
gonna hurt anyone. But yeah, for athletes, I would recommend that and omega for sure.
Omega, yeah, omega 3 joint.
And then for athletes, we start getting into a different discussion. Maybe creatine. Creatine has found to have good results, even for everyday population.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
but
absolutely.
yeah, so that I would say creatine is a huge
Creatine and
one.
monohydrate, man, is one of the safest things you can take, and it
Yep.
has a lot of positive, outcomes. Definitely a protein, like you said, a little extra protein powder can help, especially for athletes.
Yep.
It's gonna be great.
You're right.
And another one that is good is also a little B12, especially for plant-based, but not only that. Actually, I've seen that, a lot of people are B12 deficient and
Mhm.
not just vegans and vegetarians. Like a lot of people are B12
Yeah.
deficient. So B12 could be good. Like you said, D definitely, especially if you live somewhere where the winters are long, vitamin
Mhm.
D is definitely a key. C is good, man, because helps with the immune system, helps with iron for iron to stick and things like that. So vitamin
Mhm.
C is good. That's why I also say a multivitamin could be good. But like you said, the best way is to definitely check your blood work for sure, man. I
Yeah.
agree. I agree with that. Yeah, man. Anything else you wanna touch on when it comes to nutrition in general or
The only other thing I've been working with myself lately is taking electrolytes. I take
okay.
electrolytes every day. I take Element. It's a company called Element. I've been taking that every day, and um, I would say for about the last 4 months, maybe. So uh, the jury is still out on if I feel any better or worse, but it's just something I'm playing around with. But if anybody has any of their own story about electrolytes, I would be interested to hear
Yeah, let
what they
us
have to
know.
say.
Yeah, let us know in the comments, man. So what's
Hmm.
it's supposed to be as far as hydration primarily, as
Hmm.
far as being
Exactly.
hydrated, well hydrated, etc.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Proper hydration. Yep.
Okay, okay. Yeah, definitely, man. I know one of the things that definitely helps with that is coconut water for sure.
Yeah.
Other
Yeah.
than regular spring water, coconut water is really good for
Yeah.
hydration.
I think that's the best. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Coconut water is definitely key. And man, I love coconut so much, man. It's good for so much stuff. You
No.
can use it.
Yeah.
I love the milk,
Yeah.
the
Everything.
everything, man. The oils, I love everything in coconut. So, all right, man. Like you said, if anyone has anything, stories, suggestions, anything else, let us know down in the comments. We appreciate it. Um, Before we move on, man, let's talk about when it comes to all of this, man, and primarily nutrition, man. I've seen so much crazy content, man, on social media, bro.
Hmm.
There's people talking out the side of their mouth, man, just saying wild things, man. And then what worries me about that is not that, it's clowns out there. It's always been clowns, but what worries me is that you're looking at these people and you're looking at and they have 100,000 followers. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And they're just not based on facts at all. It's not science-based nutrition, nothing. They just, there's this carnivore trend right now where people they feel good in the moment, obviously at first, because what they do is they cut, all this processed foods. They're on the standard American diet, and then suddenly they cut all the processed foods, they start feeling well. But in the long
Hmm.
run, that joint is killing you, man. It's your heart, with all this butter and eggs and things like that. And there's more than that. There's just people saying crazy things. How do you feel about that, and what do you think can be done? Like for everyday people who are just scrolling, scrolling through IG or TikTok or whatever it is that people do, how what's a clue, man? How can people know that, these
Hmm.
guys are bullshitters or they actually know what they're talking about? Because there's so much information out there. I know that people are confused, man. You know what I'm saying? You and I study this, so we know, but people are confused right now. So
Yeah. So I think like one of the things to look at when we look at people on the internet or in general, even in life, because you get some of these
yeah.
people in the gym too, or in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
grocery store.
talking like they know everything. Like, nah, listen, man, this is what you got to be
Yeah.
doing, bro.
If we get anybody who says they know 100% this is the right way to do it,
Mm,
then that's usually a red flag,
right.
like because what's happening in the industry and with science in general is it's constantly moving. It's a moving mechanism. It's constantly changing. It's constantly more studies being done, more things being learned. Years ago, creatine was a steroid. Now it's one of the safest things you can take.
Mm,
So I think that people need to try to listen to somebody who sounds like they have an open mind to this is the way that they understand whatever literature they're reading,
mm,
but potentially, a year from now it could change. They could be willing to change and recant what they said because it changes. Sometimes it changes. There's certain things that I did when I first started training I would never do today.
mm.
But at that time, if you would have asked me, I probably would have been like, no, this is the way. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's the best thing is somebody with an open mind who doesn't speak in absolutes. I think that's the best way to kind of parse it out and then do your as much research as possible on your own.
Yeah, I agree, man. Definitely, that's one of the things. Definitely, like you said, make sure you do your research as well. Don't just take anybody's word. Do your research and then start, making changes.
Mhm, mhm.
We're gonna talk a little bit about basketball, but before we move on to basketball, man, I want to ask you about what's your take on fasting? Because it's also a thing that it's becoming trendy lately, or it has been trendy, but I know there's like different ways. There's intermittent fasting, there's long fasting, there's juice fast, there's water fast, dry fast. Like, what's your take on fasting in general?
Yeah, on fasting, I think done properly, it's really good.
Mm,
Uh, but just like pretty much anything is there can be a wrong way to do it and there can be a right way to do it. So I think doing as much upfront research on it is the best.
mm,
Potentially people working with their doctors, obviously. But for myself, twice a year I do a 2 to 3 day just water fast
mm,
just to give my system a break. And
mm-hmm,
what I've noticed is when I by day two it gets a little bit hard, day three is a little bit hard, but when I come out of the fast, I feel good for like a whole week. Like I feel
mm,
great. Like I can tell like there's clarity and things like that. And then you really realize how many times outside of the fast we eat that we don't need to eat. Like we're just eating because it's breakfast time or it's dinner time or lunch time, or we're watching TV and we want a snack. So that's one. The fasting I think works on multiple levels. Obviously, cellular levels. It clears up a lot of garbage with autophagy, but also I think psychologically it gives us a picture on like, hey, maybe we're overeating sometimes, or maybe we don't need to eat sometimes, and it gives you an understanding of what your body is capable of. Like, oh, okay, I feel pretty good 3 days with no food, so if I miss this meal right now, I'm gonna be okay. You know.
absolutely. Yeah,
What
yeah.
about you? I know you fasted probably more than me. What do you think? You've tried even like juice fasts and stuff, like
Yeah,
juice fasts and stuff.
yeah, man. No, I feel the same way. I feel the same way you do. I think first of all, what you said at the end there is key. I think generally, right? Generally, I just think we eat too much. We don't need to be eating that
Mhm.
much. And a lot of people eat obviously too many empty calories, which is the worst
Right.
thing. You know what I'm saying? First of all,
Right.
they're not eating whole foods, plant-based,
Right.
because usually the more you eat a whole foods, plant-based diet, the less you're gonna be overeating.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
people who
It's
overeat,
true.
they're eating a lot of empty calories usually. You know, if you're eating a lot of junk food and things like that, we eat way too much, man. And part of it is because it's kind of like the system designed it that way because everything is commercial. So like buy more food, eat more. You know, they're making money off of this whole food system, you know, the meat industry, all of that. But on top of that, then we start using food, you know, as a source of comfort, you
Mhm.
know what I'm saying, to
Mhm.
feel better. And because everybody's going through rough times, life is difficult, the world is crazy right now, upside down. So people find comfort in food, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so we start just eating, and usually it's food that's not good for us. It's either too salty, too sweet, or too greasy, you know? And then on top of that, when we eat too much of that food, then the regular food doesn't taste good because it's not extra sweet or extra,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So that's a big problem. Yeah, overeating, I agree in general. Um,
Yeah.
and then it takes time, but we can find pleasure in eating simple things and not overeating. We can find
Mhm.
pleasure in that as well. You know what I'm saying? I say that because a lot of people are like, you know, that's my pleasure. You know, I have my ice cream, my bowl of ice cream at night. It makes me feel good. That's my pleasure. Yeah, it's true. Psychologically, it makes you feel good. In the moment, it makes you feel good. But in the long run, you know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
so fasting helps with all of that, you know, because fasting kind of, like you said, it makes you understand that you really, you know, at first it's difficult, but once you start going through the days, you start feeling I hear everybody says it when they try it. The number one thing is mental clarity, man.
Uh-huh.
People,
Yeah.
a little fog is gone, man, and you start having some crazy mental clarity. And also, what I feel is that when you get off a fast and you start eating again, it's always good to start off with you know raw fruit, you know, at the beginning
Mhm.
to start introducing foods back into the system. And that's when you realize how good fruit is and how much is just like candies, like nature's candy, because
Uh-huh.
you haven't been eating for so long. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But if you're eating all this sweet processed things and then suddenly you eat a fruit, yeah, it's gonna be all right, but it's not gonna be, you know, but when you come off a fast, you're like, oh man, this is so good. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
you really enjoy it as the food and you're thankful for the food and you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I think fasting is good, man. I think fasting is good. And like you said, it has to be properly done, man. It has to be well done. But I think it also centers you. It gives you a different perspective, you know.
Mhm.
You know, some people do it for protest reasons as well, you know, political. They want to
Mhm.
solidarity. They're in solidarity with certain causes, you know, all of that, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think fasting can be very good, man. But yeah, it needs to be well done, you know, for sure.
Mhm. Yeah.
100%. So that's that. Let's get into basketball a little bit, man. You know,
All
because
right.
for those who don't know, man, me and P, man, that's how we met back in college, man. You know,
Yeah.
we played college basketball together. We became brothers, you know, back in
Yep.
college at Concordia University. Man, I want to real quick, man. First thing I want to touch on is that, man, you know, the school we went to, Concordia University, Ann Arbor in Michigan. Um, the athletic program shut down, man.
Mm.
That's a shame, brother. I feel like yo, I wanted to at least be able to go watch my alma mater at some point throughout life,
Yeah.
you know, like feel
Right.
proud, like yeah, that's my school. I went there.
Right.
They're about to win the tournament or something. But
Right.
yo, it's over, man. No more athletics over there, bro. How do you feel about
Man.
that, man?
Yeah, that's I mean that's sad, man.
It is.
I don't know I don't know what happened. I don't know the whole story, but I just know that's sad, but I also kind of want to know where's all the gear at. I want to get some of that retro gear, bro.
Right, right, man. We gotta holler. We gotta go holler at the latest coaches. I'm sure they got
Yeah.
gear for real. You're right. That's
Man,
a good
what?
point. That's a good point. That's a
Yeah.
good point. I hope they did some donations, man. But
Yeah.
you know who probably knows where the gear is at?
Yeah, Marv might know.
Marv know. We gotta holler at
He
Marv,
might
man.
have some. He might have some gear actually.
Shout out to Marv, man. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Shout out to Concordia too.
yeah. Shout out to Concordia Athletics, man. You know,
Hopefully they can get it back.
the
Hopefully they get it back, you know.
shout out to the Hoop Squad, man. All of our ex teammates and all of that, man.
Yeah.
man, it was good times, man. College basketball was good times for us, man, definitely. So
for
yeah,
sure.
man, it's sad, man. They had to shut the program down. When we was there, they didn't even have a football team. So so
Yeah,
it was good. But then they had a football team, and their football team was pretty successful, man. It was kind of
yeah,
successful. So, but yeah, man,
yeah, for sure.
for sure, man.
All right, so here, this is something I got. So I knew you would. This would be something that you would want to talk about. I'm just hearing that James Harden has passed Carmelo Anthony on the scoring list. So he's 10th now in the
Mm.
scoring list. What's your thoughts on that? I know you're a big Melo fan.
Yeah, yeah, Melo is my guy, man. He held it down for my squad for years, man, for the Knicks, but I always liked him, even coming out of even at Syracuse, man, what he did, with Syracuse, they won the championship, all of that, and now he just got into the Hall of Fame not too long ago. And James Harden, I've never been a huge fan of James Harden, but obviously I respect, the game is crazy. Obviously so now he's number 10, right?
Right, right.
The way how I feel about that is that all the records are about to be broken because the style of
Mm,
play is completely different. So like,
mhm.
you know what I'm saying? So like basically what's happening is that we're gonna see a lot of broken records, even one that
Right.
we don't think like I believe they're gonna break LeBron. LeBron is number one in scoring all time. I think that's gonna be broken too.
Yeah.
If a guy like Antetokounmpo, Giannis stays in the league long, he can break that. You know, uh,
Hmm.
KD is gonna be not far away from breaking it.
Yeah.
If a guy like Wembanyama has a long career, he'll break LeBron's record. He'll be first. I feel like
Right.
it's gonna be a lot of records that are gonna be broken. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And this is why I still value so much winning when it comes to
Mhm.
comparing players and all of that, because it's a team sport and it's about winning. And no matter
Right.
what, we're hoopers. We know that at the end of the day, we're on the court to win, man.
Right.
That's what
Right.
we're on the court for. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we want to have a good game, we want to perform, but we want to win and we want to win the
Yeah.
championship, man. That's what you're on the court for. So at the end
Yeah.
of the day, even though like obviously it takes the whole team to win, you can have bad situations and this and that, but those are the true measures. It's about, are you able to get over the hump? Are you able to help your team get to the promised land, man? That's
Right.
it's more than scoring, it's more than rebounding, it's more than assisting. It's overall, man. What were you able to do to help your team win, man? And that's really winning when it comes to these team sports. It's key, man. But I'm not saying we can't, big up the individual accolades. It's fine, but so I think obviously James Harden is gonna get his flowers, man. He's also not
Yeah.
too far away from retiring, and he deserves it, man. He's an amazing player. He's a great player,
Yeah.
but you know. I still think Melo's a better player than him. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay.
I still think Melo's a better player than James Harden. But yeah, man, it's crazy. A lot of records I think are gonna be broken, man, in the
Yeah,
years to
that's a
come.
good point. That's
Yeah.
a real good point. I didn't think about that, but you're right
Yeah, it's
because
it's
of the
it's way
game.
more. Yeah, the game changed. It's way more possessions, way more
Yeah.
shots being taken, way more possessions. Way less defense. Like the game is really you barely can play defense. In the playoffs they start letting you play defense a little bit more. That's a good
Mhm.
thing. But throughout the season, man, that whistle go quick, man. Guys are
Right.
shooting so many free throws you can't play D really. Like everything is a foul and like so yeah.
So let me ask you this. You think with the game changing, are there any stats? Like you said, there'll be records being broken. Are there any stats that you think will suffer because of the
That's a
record
good question.
becoming because of the game?
That's a good question. I haven't thought about that really.
Yeah,
Off the
that's something I'm just thinking
Yeah,
about. Like originally I was thinking like maybe assists will go down, but I
but
don't
not
know
really.
if that's true. Yeah, not
Not
really.
really because
And then
yeah,
rebounding actually is probably going to benefit because there's
yeah,
more shots. So I'm trying to think of that's something that maybe again people can tell us
yeah.
in
That's
the
interesting.
comments like what they think if there's any stats that will actually suffer because of the change
That
of the game.
yeah, that's interesting, man. I don't know off the top like that. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
let me ask you this: because we were talking about recovery and all of that. In today's game, we're
Mhm.
seeing a lot more injuries.
Yeah,
And recently we're
yeah,
seeing like all the stars, you know what I'm saying? A lot of injuries and
yeah,
all of that. What do you
yeah.
think that is, man? There's been different opinions on that. What do you think that is?
Man, that's something I don't know, man. Like I feel like they have the best training nowadays, the best
Hmm.
nutrition understand. Like today, athletes are more informed than they ever been
Hmm.
in the history. I don't know if maybe they're just taking off with injuries that maybe in the old school days they would have played with. I'm not sure, man. Like I think that it's I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. What do you
I,
think?
man, I think it's a few things, but I'm gonna tell you because I've been researching on this and trying to listen to trainers and things like that. There's a couple things. One thing that they're saying is that the pace, since back in the day, sometimes you have some more half court sets. You'll come up,
Mm,
you have a half court set, but now it's too many possessions. So it's just
that makes
strictly up
sense.
and down. It's too much running. In 82 games, you're going up and down, up and down. It's either a dunk or a three, and you go back.
Yeah.
So it's a lot on the body, and it's the same movement over, 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 over. So just the pace of the game is crazy, and guys are more athletic, and they're going up and down crazy. So that could be one thing. Another thing that I've heard was that this one is interesting, is that basically the AAU circuit, because back in the day, a lot of athletes would cross train. They wouldn't necessarily call it that, but like if you was in high school and you was playing maybe football and
Hmm.
basketball, and then you would play
Hmm.
baseball or you would run
Hmm.
track,
Yeah.
you would work different muscles kind of. And
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you're playing AAU your whole life and you're playing I don't know how many games the whole time, it's constantly the same, going pounding, 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 and then at some point, boom, you know what I'm saying? The muscle. So I've heard both of those things. Some people are talking about the shoes a little bit. You know me, I'm still a high top guy, and everybody's
Uh-huh.
playing in low tops all the time, you know what I'm saying? And what
Yes.
I call them, I call running shoes. Guys are out there hooping in running shoes, you know. That everybody wants they feet to be light and all that. I understand that, but the ankle support, I still think so that could also be another reason. And I also think it could low key nutrition could play a part. I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah.
Even though guys know the science is out there and all that, I think everybody used to just eat just more whole foods back then. Now
Hmm.
there's more and more, people eating, junk food. Junk food is just
Yeah.
all over everywhere,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And people are just having that, and over time that's also, so yeah, I just think it's a variety of things, but
Makes
it's
sense. That makes
interesting.
sense.
It's interesting, like you said, because it should be less. It should be less because, the science is up. People have the best conditions. They have better
Right.
conditions than before. But I don't know, man.
Yeah. I wonder if there'll be a turning point where like young players will start to watch and they'll say like, okay, what is Giannis doing that he keeps getting hurt? What is Kawhi doing that he keeps like if they'll start to study their games because they're a
Mm,
little closer to them,
yeah,
they can start to be like, hey, what are they doing that I can maybe do it a little different?
yeah.
And because I do see with the younger players, they take the game very serious. Like
Mm,
it's a very serious game to them. So I wonder if they'll have a turning point where they look at that.
Yeah, I hear that, man. I think they kind of I think the NBA obviously is trying to see and they're trying to do, but like one thing that is not the problem, obviously, is the 82 games. Because a lot of people are like, oh, they play
Right.
too many games, they play too many
Yeah.
games. I mean, there's a couple of things with that. First, the first thing is that they've always played 82 games season. And then the
Yeah.
playoffs was just as long back in the day and it was less injuries. So that's
Yeah.
not it. So that's why I'm saying it could be the style of play, but it's not that it's too many games. And the other thing is that when you're an athlete at that level, if you're not playing 82 games, you're still gonna be either playing or training hard during because you can't
Mhm.
stay what? How long is gonna be your off season? So you're still gonna be
Right.
going. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're gonna be playing other games or you're gonna be doing other things. So it's not like, you know what I'm saying? The answer is not to cut the season. Like it's not to cut the season.
No,
Because some people are
I
like, oh
agree.
yeah, it should be 60 games. It should like that's not gonna make a difference. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. I agree with you. Yeah, 100%.
Like, dudes are athletes, man, high level athletes. They got to keep their body at that level pretty much all year round. They could take a little time off, but not, they got to be ready to go.
Yeah,
So,
that's
yeah.
true.
Hey,
That's good.
what you sipping on, man?
Oh, just water.
Oh, okay,
Just
okay.
water. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
you
just
just got
water. It's just
the fancy cup with the water,
I
man.
put it in a fancy
I
cup, you know.
see you. I see.
It's just water, bro. I've been trying to keep my coffee consumption down, so it's like my habit. So it's
So
it's
you
it's
put
nice
the
just to,
okay. So you put the
'cause
water in the coffee
that's my coffee cup. Yeah, so it's like my habit.
for sure.
If I'm not chewing gum, I gotta be doing that. I gotta be doing that.
Word. That's what's up.
Yeah, yeah. So XB, let's talk about your retirement, man. How's it going, and how are things with being retired? Because you're officially retired, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. Well, technically, these last couple years, I wasn't a professional anymore. Like I was still playing organized basketball, but it wasn't professional. It was a lower level. So technically, I've been retired really since 2017 was my last really like semi-pro club where I was making money and you know. But after that, at some point, I knew I wanted to hoop again. I still felt the itch. You know what I'm saying? I went back to Cuba, and then I felt the itch. I wanted to hoop again. I was playing in a league over there, Street Bowl League. Shout out to Full Court Peace. They had this Street Bowl League going on in Cuba and Havana. I was hooping, but I really wanted to get back to playing organized. So, my boy Junior that I played professionally with here in France, my boy Junior, he was over here in Rennes, and that's how I landed here, during COVID. Situation was
Mhm.
tough back in Cuba, and I landed here in Rennes because Junior was out here and he was, coaching the team, and I got to coach the kids over here and all that. Um,
Shout out to Junior, bro. That's
yeah,
my
shout
guy.
out to my brother Junior, man. But yeah, it's definitely to me. See, that's the thing. You're right because to me, I still took it like I was playing professionally. I was
Hmm.
still dedicated. I was still doing the work. I was still,
Yeah,
even though it was like an amateur squad. So the goal was for me and Junior was to take this team to at least to like a semi-pro level, right?
right.
Um, we fell a little bit short. You know what I'm saying? We were two levels down. We were able to move up one level. And
Hmm.
then last season was my last season. So to be honest with you, man, it's been good, man. It's been good. People are like, you don't miss it. And the reason why I don't miss it is because I'm not away from the game, really. Like tech,
Mm,
I'm not playing it, at a high
right,
level, but I'm
right,
not really away from the game. You know what I'm saying? Like
right,
my son is still playing. I'm still working out, young players sometimes, doing camps. I'm following my son constantly, watching basketball with my son. I'm still going out and hooping outdoors sometimes when I can. So
hmm,
I'm not, me, I'll always be a ball player. Like I'll never be. But yeah, I'm done playing organized basketball for sure. And the reason I stopped was it wasn't physically, and I'm happy about that. I could have kept going. And that's kind of the way I wanted to go out anyway. I didn't want to go out because of an injury or some stuff like that. I could have
hmm.
kept going far as physically a couple years. The real reason why I stopped is because mentally, my teammates were not with me. And what I mean by that, is that I was too serious because I was still taking it like a professional.
Right,
I
right,
really
right,
and I really wanted to take this team to the next level. And my teammates wasn't really following me. Like they were, it's the holidays, we're not going to practice. It's
right.
game day, but today I'm cold. I don't really feel like it, so I'm not really giving 100%. And all of that was kind of messing with me, man. So it was stressing me out instead
Mm,
of being pleasure, instead of me having
mm.
fun, I was stressed out because it's a team
Okay.
sport, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So I was like, yo, listen, this is my year, man. If we don't make it happen, I'm out, man. So Junior understood, man, uh and uh and yeah, man, we fell short. We fell short last season, but I knew it was time for me to stop because, a whole year. And also now it gives me more time for everything else that I'm doing. Now I'm a health and wellness coach. I got to work on that. I got my activism, everything that I do as far as organizing and, the Pan-African Legal Moja. I got my podcast. I got my son who's now serious. He's still young, but he's getting real serious when it comes to basketball. So I'm happy that I can really follow him now, go to every game. Now I'm actually coaching his youth team.
Hmm.
Um, so it's been good, man. I'm having fun, following my son. And he's still young, like I said, but now he has, he's starting to have hoop dreams, man, a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. I can't lie, it's exciting. I try not to get too carried away, like, you know what I mean? But it's exciting.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Well, congrats on, man, your whole career. I think that's dope. dope
Appreciate
that
it,
you
my guy.
you stuck with it, and you know, even at the end, like you said, you were trying to get a team that speaks a lot to your character, trying to get a team to another level, you know. But I wonder, I had a question, like say if there's somebody who is maybe towards the end of their career, let's say they're one season out, three seasons out, whatever. What are some things that you can tell them where they can like know, like, hey, this is the time I need to retire? What are some things that you realized, and what are some things that you would tell somebody that is contemplating it?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. I think for me personally, I didn't worry about that because I felt like I would know. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I'm
Hmm.
gonna know. I wasn't worried. I felt like I would know.
Okay.
Some people say like when I'm not having fun anymore or when I'm not, but to me, I always thought like I'm always gonna have fun because I love the game and I'm gonna love the game always, even after I'm done hooping. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I always want to hoop. But some people with that state of mind, they may go too far because they're like, "No, I'm still enjoying it." But then your body's like, "Yo, you're done, man." And
Right.
then you're like, "No, I still want to go." You know?
Right.
So to me, it wasn't really that. It was just like I told you, for me, I realized it because it was stressing me, but it wasn't the basketball part that was stressing me. It wasn't the actual hooping. It was the
Okay.
whole everything that was going on around me, the locker room, the fact that my teammates weren't on the same page and all of that. So, I didn't reject the game. It's not like I'm reject, ah man, fuck basketball. Nah, it wasn't really that. It was just like I understood that, you know what I'm saying? Like it's time for me to,
Time.
yeah, it's time for me because the situation is not right. You know what I'm saying? The situation
So
is
so
not
for
right.
you, so for you, does this so for you was it a little bit of it sounds like it was a little bit of intuition plus the environment and that kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
basically capped it off for you.
Yeah, 100%. And then, I had my brother Booba, man. Shout out to Booba. He was there. He came to my last game. He supported me throughout my whole career, man. Shout out to my brother Booba, man.
Shout out to Booba, yeah.
And he was there at my last game with my wife and my kids and my boy Amir too. So that was really special for me. And the
Yeah.
fact that they were there also let me know like, yo, this is perfect closing. Even
Right.
though I went out with an L and all of that instead of going out with a chip, but it still felt like a perfect closing because they were there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So so yeah,
Yeah.
man,
That's
I think sometimes you have to have that conversation with yourself. You can't just rely on whether I feel good because like I said, sometimes you're gonna be like, no, I still feel good. I still feel good till you still go till you get injured. But I did definitely still felt good. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's good.
there was a time after I came back where I was getting little nagging injuries. Remember, I would tell you about it. Like
Uh-huh.
I
Uh-huh.
had little things in my legs and this and that. But after a
Yeah.
while, I really got back in good shape and I was back. I was back. And to be honest, I think I could have hooped till I was a couple more years, maybe like 41, 42. I could have kept going. At this
Yeah.
level, you know what I'm saying? At this level, I could have
Yeah.
kept going, 41, 42. Because that's the thing, like I said, I'm still out there playing hard. Like some guys play till
Right.
like they're 45 in these little leagues. They play till like 45 or even more, but they half-assing it. And that's not me. I could
Right.
never do that to the game. That's not how I play. I'm going hard. I'm
Right.
still playing defense. I'm out there, and playing defense like I'm one of the young boys. I'm going hard, man. Playing defense. I'm doing everything. I'm not out there, kind of half-assing it. So, but I still think at that level I could have went on a year or two. But it was like I said, I feel good, man. It was time.
Yeah.
I feel good and I can still, now really focus on my son and on in general, man. I enjoy in general, not just my son, but developing the youth, man. I'm really into that now, doing camps, working with certain youth players and things like that. I enjoy that a lot, man, and I plan on doing that for a long time,
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
good,
So
man. Well, congrats, man. I think you did it perfect, bro. I think you did it perfect, and congrats, man.
yeah, appreciate it, man. Definitely, you and I, man, back in college, man, we kind of had that same mentality and we pushed each other, man, and that's,
Yeah,
I appreciate you for that as well. That's
of course.
definitely for the brotherhood that we built, but also, getting better on the court, man, pushing each other and, loving the game, man. We share that love for the game. So it was dope all throughout my career. I always thought about you and about Mel, our brother Mel that we lost, RIP Mel,
Mhm.
man. Because Mel, he wanted to go hoop in Europe too. He was like, yo, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? So my whole life, I would, for those of you who don't know, Melvin is our brother from college, our college teammate that passed away. He had cancer. Um, and he got his foot amputated, and he still came back with a prosthetic. He came back and hooped, college ball with a prosthetic. But he every time I laced up my sneakers, man, and I felt, some days you feel a little bit, you feel like you don't feel like going. I would think
Hmm.
about Mel, man, being out
Hmm.
there with half a foot, man. And I would
Yeah,
be
yeah,
like, yo, let's go, man. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
it's a lot of things like that, experiences that I went through throughout, my years hooping, man. And this is all of this is also one of the reasons that I started this podcast, Vital Hoops, because even though it's about more than basketball, it's about everything that's a part of my life. But basketball was the beginning for me, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I created a lot of dope relationships with basketball, you know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
wanted to share some of that with everybody. But I appreciate you, man, for all what we built and throughout the years, man, and what we're gonna continue to build, man.
Of course, of course. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
what we're gonna continue to build together, man. Definitely. Um, what about you, man? Let me ask you this, man. How I know you still got that love for the game as well, and you were. For those who don't know, man, you got to go back to my episodes with Pete. Everybody, if you're listening right now, he's been here. This is the fifth time, so we did a few episodes, but there was a couple years back he came here to Ren, and he was assistant coach with Junior, and he was the strength and conditioning coach of the squad, and all of that. But I want to ask you, man, how do you feel, man? I know you still hoop sometimes a little bit here and there, man. How do you
Mhm.
deal with the game, man? How do you deal with the game today, and with still your love for the game?
Yeah. I mean, I just enjoy it. I just think of it as fun. Like I always try to remember when I first started playing, like my first one or two games, like that fire that I was like, oh, I didn't know this was inside of me, like, and
Yeah.
I try to tap into that, even if I'm just playing, whatever. It's just like a good exercise mentally to be like, hey man, like this is not only is this sport was good to you, but it was able to, when down times it was there, it was there for a lot of therapy in life and stuff like that. So I think now when I play it with probably the most appreciation than I ever have.
Wow, that's dope, man. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, man. I do want to touch on this and other things that hoopers that we have a difficult time with once we get done
Mhm.
hooping is that basketball, the camaraderie is really dope, first of all. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
everybody,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And sometimes we
yeah,
miss that. We miss the locker room, we miss the trips and all of that. But there's another
yeah.
thing, which is like, even though I didn't play at a super high level. I wasn't in the NBA, the highest level I played was third division in France, which is still, a nice level, it's still professional,
Mhm.
but it's not like you're a superstar. But still, like, when you're playing for a small city, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
wherever you at, you still playing for the city, and you still getting
right.
love from everybody, and you still, you know what I'm saying, you go to places and you signing autographs for kids and this and that. And so people afterwards, they miss that. When you get done hooping
Oh
and
yeah.
you miss the love, you know what I'm saying? You miss
Hmm.
the love, the excitement, the Saturday night game. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's, yo, what's up? How you feeling? You know what I'm saying? And people do miss that a lot. And some people also, they start feeling depressed when they get done being a professional athlete, because their whole life they've
Right.
been like the man and all of this, and now like people after 2, 3 seasons, nobody know who you are. You know what I'm saying? And people
Right.
are like, dang, what's up?
Yeah.
But see, one of the things that has definitely helped me with that is my activism. Me being an organizer and all of that. I'm doing something that's way bigger. You know what I'm saying? Than just, so that takes front stage for me, and my family. Obviously, I got my kids now, and you know what I'm saying, and my wife, my kids, my brother, my whole family, man. You know what I'm saying? My family in general, but definitely also the work that I do as far as, the community and movement work is definitely key for that, man. But I'm looking forward for everything that's coming, man, in life in general. Speaking about looking forward to everything, man. One of the things I'm looking forward to is, man, you and I, man, we about to run. We're about to run one, man.
Oh
We're about
yeah,
to
man.
run one, Petey. Yeah,
We got a marathon. We don't we still zoning it in which one, but we're gonna do a marathon
yeah,
in
we decided.
2026. Yeah.
Yeah, we decided to run a full length marathon together, man. And I want to hear about you, man. But for me, it's always running a marathon was always something that I kind of kept in the back of my head. One of the things like, yo, it's bucket list. Like, I want to do this at some point. I
Yeah.
want to run a marathon. Like, it's exciting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, same here. Like I was the same. I'm like, I've always said like I want to run one. That's it. Like I for sure want to run. I mean, obviously if I fall in love with it, I'll keep running.
Mm.
But I for sure always have wanted to run one. So I think now is the perfect time. Like you're done with your career and we in a good spot where it's like, all right, let's do this. Let's get it
Yeah,
done.
yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Let's get to it, man. We're about to run a marathon, man. So listen, this is brand new for me. So
Hmm.
if y'all have anything, man, tips, whatever, whatever, let us know
Yeah.
down in the comments. But
Yeah, please.
I will say this. I've always been good at running. You know what I'm saying? Like I've
Yeah.
always had my heart beat slow, and I've always like people was always like in basketball, people was always like, "Yo, stop running, man." People was like, "Yo, I don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
guard
yeah.
Fernando," like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I be going, man. So I'm looking forward. I know this is next level.
Yeah.
This is something else, but I do enjoy running. I do enjoy running, and I think it's gonna be good. I'm ready. I'm excited about training for it.
Yeah.
I'm also grateful that we're doing it together as far as, the preparing for it and all of that.
Yeah.
And yo, we're gonna get it right. I'm trying to not lose too much weight.
Same.
Yeah, yeah.
Same.
We gotta try to not lose weight, stay right, stay right,
Yeah.
feeling good, and run this thing, man. Run this thing.
Yeah. 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 It's gonna be fun, man. I'm excited. I'm excited for sure.
Yeah, so one thing I will let everybody know, we're not gonna be in the States or in France. So it's definitely gonna be a nice trip. So
Yeah.
you
Hmm.
also using it as that, a trip, man, to just relax a little bit, be with our families and get together, you know what I'm saying? Get together and it's gonna be
Yep.
dope, man. I'm gonna try to document a little bit, at least on IG and all of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, make sure y'all follow my IG at Coach Fernando Cardenas. I'll definitely be trying to document some of it. Yeah, man, and follow Pierre's IG at train the number 4 greatness, right?
Yeah. Hmm. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, man. So we almost gonna wrap it up, but I was checking out the shoes, man, because I gotta get, the
Oh
proper
yeah.
shoes for that, for the marathon and all that. You know me, I like sneakers. I'm not gonna call myself a sneakerhead because I don't have a lot of sneakers, because I know
Right.
that, but I do like sneakers, especially basketball shoes, but running shoes are not bad. And I saw that recently, I saw that Griselda, the hip hop group Griselda,
Okay.
they just got running sneakers, man.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they got a deal, man. They got a deal with Socani's.
Ah, I see
Yeah.
it here. Yeah.
And they
Those are
look
nice
dope.
though.
They
Those are
look dope, man.
yeah.
They
Those
look
are
dope.
cool.
The
Yeah.
real
That's
running
cool.
sneakers. And you know what?
Yeah. That's
What
cool.
one of my favorite MCs, man, Stick from Dead Prez. He had shoes too. They was
Okay.
Diodora. They made shoes for him like Diodora, but he's actually a runner, certified long distance running coach actually as well. So,
Okay.
but he
Okay.
got kicks with Diodora, and they look dope as well, man. So yeah, so now rappers are getting running shoes. It's not just basketball, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, those are pretty dope, man. I checked them out.
Yeah, those are nice. I like those.
You
Those
see?
are kind of smooth, man.
Yeah,
I
man.
I don't know if I want to run in them. I just rock them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's what most people are gonna do, I'm sure. What's the price looking like? Can you see?
Let's see. For the price for it,
Well, running shoe
190.
190. Well, yeah. Well, running shoes are expensive anyway. Like
Yeah, yeah,
good
yeah,
running shoes are almost as expensive as hooping shoes, really.
yeah. Probably more.
Yeah,
I pay more for running
yeah,
shoes. I paid like 160 before. So yeah, they
yeah,
get
yeah, yeah.
expensive. But
Yeah,
I noticed that they're necessary in running.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Necessary. It's
No, no,
necessary.
it's just like basketball, man. You gotta have good hooping shoes. You can't just hoop in whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. One last thing I wanted to touch on with you is since we're talking about sneakers,
Hmm.
did you see Steph Curry, man? He's done with Under Armour.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Steph
yeah.
Curry's done with Under Armour, man. So he still has his brand, which is, the Curry brand, but it's not with Under Armour anymore. He's been rocking all types of sneakers in the tunnel and everything, and like in shoot around. He's been rocking everything. But he's like sneaker free agent right now. So what do you think about that, man? Because we're seeing certain players like, well, Kyrie not really. Kyrie's with Anta. He's still a big brand, but it's a Chinese brand. But we're seeing like Jaylen Brown coming through with his own brand. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? There's a couple of them out there doing it. Stephon Marbury did it back in the day, and
Mhm.
certain people have tried to do it. But what do you think about that? Do you think? Steph Curry should just rock out with Curry brand by himself and develop it, or you think he should
Ooh.
sign with a major brand? Or
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I think at Steph Curry's level, to sign with a major brand, it has to really, really be beneficial. Because I do
yeah,
feel like he could come out with the Curry brand right now,
absolutely,
and he could probably sell just as many,
yeah,
if not more, shoes. So the only caveat I would say to that is he's coming towards the end of his career. So post career, how long is he going to stay one of the top selling shoes? Because eventually, it's hard for us to imagine now, but eventually, 5 years, 10 years, people aren't going to be thinking about Steph Curry anymore, you know.
mm,
And it's only a few brands like the Jordan brand who's able to like stand that test of time.
yeah.
So it may be beneficial in that sense for him to get with a major so he can maximize profits in this next X amount of years he has left. But I don't know.
Man, listen, I think actually the reason you gave, I think it's a good reason to go independent because I think now is the time for him to start signing other athletes. And I think when
Mm,
you're an independent brand, I think it's more interesting because like if I'm an athlete and I'm gonna sign for under Curry, but Curry's already under Nike, and Nike is
right.
on, you know what I'm saying? Like, but if Curry becomes an established brand, you're establishing it. Yo, this is Curry brand. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes it more appealing to younger athletes. And also, I think one of the reasons why I think he should do it, if anybody can do it, is him because he's got a lot of bread, man. He can
Yeah.
easily get the best designers, the best
Yeah.
technology. He can pay for all of that, you know what I'm saying, and make it dope, make it independent, you know what I'm saying, and build his own thing. I think, and also when you're independent, man, there's a lot more work and things that you need to do. But yo, when it works, it works.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it's dope.
Yeah.
I hate it when I hate the monopoly, man. I hate the fact that, that the only two brands that are selling are Nike and Adidas and they have everybody and all the athletes. I like it.
Right.
I like it when, when it's spread around, there's more brands. That's why I like the fact that Kyrie left Nike, he went elsewhere, that Jalen Brown is doing his own thing. I like all of that,
Yeah.
man. And as long as the kicks are good, you know what I'm saying? Like they're good, they're comfortable, they have the technology to be good basketball shoes and all of
Right.
that. It's dope. It's dope. I think he should do his own thing, man, for sure.
Yeah.
I hope he does. We'll see. We'll see. And
Yeah. I
also,
hope he does too.
also when they do their own thing, it's easier to be more ethical with it. You know what I'm saying? Because they're
Hmm.
controlling everything. These big brands, they got all types of sweatshops and they're underpaying workers and all of that. When you go independent and you do your own thing, you have the power to, make it more ethical and everything.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, yeah.
That's true.
Um, Yo, let me ask you this, man, before we go. Recently, I seen you was out there, you was on a hike with Michelle, man. Shout out to Michelle. And you went all the way to Utah and it looked dope, man. I enjoy outdoor walks, man, but I know when it comes to outdoor sports in general, I feel like, yo, it's white folks all the time.
No.
And it and
Yeah.
it feels like, it feels like our people are not out there. They
Yeah.
they feel like it's not for them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like hikes, even like long runs, even like long outdoor runs and all of that.
Yeah.
It's like unfortunately it's a thing because it's unfortunate because it's really healthy. Like you're getting fresh
Right.
air, you're getting sun, you know what I'm saying? You're running. And it's definitely something that's, when we talk about our ancestors and things like that, it's
Hmm.
definitely something that's, to us.
Yeah.
But what do you think that is, man? First of all, tell me about your experience, man, with outdoor running and hiking and sports just
Oh
in
yeah.
general. And
I
what
mean,
what draws you to that, you know what I'm saying, in general, and then
yeah. I mean, generally, it's a fitness thing for me, a health and fitness thing. I enjoy being out in nature a lot.
for sure.
Um, Probably more than I enjoy being inside, to be honest. So to go on long hikes and see different scenery is just like a perfect. It's almost like a paradise to me.
Yeah.
Um, and most of my running, 99% of my running is done outdoors. I'm fortunate to live in an area where I can run outdoors pretty much year round, so that's good. But before that, I was running on the treadmill. But as far as like outdoor time, we did go to Utah. We went to two of the major national parks that we have here. We went to Bryce Canyon and to Zion. And I agree with you, man. I think that I didn't see a lot of us out there, but also I realize how important it is for like people like you and I to train for the marathon, to run the marathon, for people to see us out there,
Mm,
also to communicate with us, and us to communicate with them so they can see like, oh, like somebody has to be the one that is the change, you know. And I
for
think
sure.
that that's important for what we're doing. And yeah, that's kind of what draws me to hiking and being outdoors.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you, man. I think it's kind of like everything else. Sometimes things get segregated, man. Things get segregated, and
Yeah,
once we don't see ourselves in there, then we just stop going. We're like, oh no, this is not for us or whatever. But
yeah,
we need to be everywhere, man. We can and deserve to be everywhere, man. Everywhere we want to
yeah.
be. So
But
definitely.
also there is probably a deeper reason, right? There probably is like some, I mean, to go, right? Like I had to pay to go to Utah. I had to pay to go to Vegas, then I had to pay to get a rental to go to Utah. Then I had to stay in the Airbnb. So there's certain factors that it's not an excuse because people can go outside their house and there's ways to work around it. But in general, it probably is a little more expensive. For instance, like
Definitely.
running, right?
Definitely.
To pay $165 for running shoes might not be for our people. It might not for everyone. It might not be for everyone, you know.
Hmm.
So there are some barriers there that
For sure.
kind of play into it, but there are still a lot of people who could be doing it and benefiting from it who aren't. So we got to kind of bridge that gap.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt, man. Yeah. Oh, that's also one of the reasons why, to be honest, that's one of the reasons why we hoop so much because it's cheap, because there's courts
That is,
everywhere. All you need is a
yeah,
basketball. You could,
yeah,
and the courts is everywhere and you can go outside and hoop. And that's the reason
exactly.
why, we don't play tennis as much because tennis, like, first of all, tennis lessons is more expensive, even here in France. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Tennis lessons is expensive, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's why you don't see a lot of brothers playing tennis, but you see them playing soccer or basketball and things like that.
yeah,
But yeah, definitely. But that's partly what I'm saying, like kind of like things get segregated, you know what I'm saying? And
yep, yep,
yeah, man, but like I said, yeah, we need to be everywhere we want to be, man, you know?
exactly,
So that's what it
exactly.
is, brother. Hey, man,
Yeah, man.
yo, you already know I appreciate you, my guy. Before I let you go, man, I need a health tip from you, man. This is what we do at the end of the VITAL HOOPS podcast, a health tip for the people. It could be anything, something that, you want to advise people on.
Yeah, I just want to highlight something that we talked about earlier is what I found really, really works is going to sleep. If it's possible, going to sleep within 30 minutes to an hour of the same time and waking up around the same time every day, just to get into the circadian rhythm, to get better night sleep, better recovery, that compounding effect of doing that night in, night out. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Maybe one night you miss, but the next night you get right back on it. Uh, for me, I found that just it's been a game changer as far as my body. So that's one thing I would recommend for people.
For sure. Break down the circadian rhythm real quick for those who don't know.
Yeah, so it's just an internal clock essentially that we have, just natural. There's multiple factors, right? Our senses kind of feed into that clock. So we have, things we see through our eyes. That's why we close our eyes when we go to sleep because we're calming that circadian rhythm down, things like that. But basically, it's just an internal clock that, if it is managed properly, it becomes a tool that actually helps us with recovery. It helps us with just everything, like even like absorption of our nutrition, things like that. Like once you get that circadian rhythm on time, the body is functioning at a higher level. So it's essentially taking your machine, that's the body, and putting it on the proper time,
Mm,
and that proper time allows it to function the proper way.
for sure. Appreciate that, man. And as far as the length, what we're still looking at 7 to 9 or 7 to 8 hours?
Yeah, so we're looking at in the bed with no screens for about 8.5 to 9 hours. And that means you're sleeping for anywhere from 7.5 to 8 hours, maybe a little more or less depending on your workload that day.
For sure.
But the no screen in the bed for at least 8 hours, 8.5 hours is really, really recommended.
For sure, man. I appreciate that. And one of the things that helps me with that, I think I said it before in another show, but it's definitely, like you said, no screens. And one of the things I like to do is reading.
Yeah,
You start reading
huge.
before you go to sleep. It'll calm you down and it will even knock you out. For me,
Oh
sometimes,
yeah,
a lot of times I fall asleep reading, man. So,
yeah, yeah.
so
Me too.
reading is a good thing. And if not, then even like breath work, doing some breath work and things
Hmm.
like that
Yeah.
as it's almost time to go to sleep. But I know it takes a lot of discipline, man, because these days there's a couple of things. First of all these screens and all these things that you
Yeah.
could get to. Everybody wants to watch Netflix, watch things on their phone, scroll, whatever. But
Yeah.
also for people like myself, like when you're a parent, there's
Mm.
also this one thing where like, when you put your kids to sleep, it's calm, and that's kind of like the only time you have for yourself. Sometimes me
Hmm.
and the wife were like, "Oh, let's watch a movie, let's do this." And then you can
Yeah.
easily stay up too late though. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
be trying to take advantage of that time. But it's really
Yeah.
important, and it will make you feel a lot better in the long run to get your sleep, you know what I'm saying, for sure. So yeah, I appreciate that one, man, the health tip. So yeah, man, all this to say, man, be healthy, you know what I'm saying? Take
Yeah.
your health seriously, you know what I'm saying? Because when our health is not right, everything else is wrong. We can't do nothing.
Yeah.
We can't do nothing if
Yeah.
we're not healthy. So this is the key, man. And I love the fact that you and I, man, we connected through basketball, and we still connecting through basketball, but also through health and wellness, man. It's
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah. For sure.
So yeah, man, for sure, my brother. Much love, man. We stay connected, and yo, let's get ready for this marathon, man.
Yeah. Let's do it, man. It's happening. So let's do
Yes, sir. Peace, my guy.
it. All right, peace, brother. Thanks
Much
for
love.
having me, man.
For sure, man. I appreciate you.
All right, bro.
All right, that was episode 97. Shout out to my boy P. Always a great conversation. Make sure y'all do get that Vital Hoops merch. Go to blackpowermedia.org/shop. Please, please, please like and share this episode. Leave us a comment, leave us a review. We appreciate y'all. Follow us on Instagram at Vital Hoops Podcast. Follow Pierre at train4 greatness, and take care of your health. You know what I'm saying? This is the Vital Hoops Podcast for the people, by the people, for the culture. Uhuru.